Hello, this is my quick explainer video on the Kaggle Capstone 2025 Google submission for the 5-day intensive class, and just a little bit of background on me. I have actually gone through this class before, but I didn't participate in the capstone last time. I've been sort of loosely following AI peripherally for a few years and have taken a few classes, but I haven't really had the confidence to dive in too deep until recently. So classes like these are definitely helping. And anyways, this was my first attempt at submitting something for a real competition. I've done a couple of the Titanic ones, that type of thing. But I am obviously here to get my badge, and also wanted to see if I could produce something that would actually work, which I was pretty excited about the results here, just because this is something that is close to my heart, and I wanted to see if we could come up with something that would actually spit out real results. And I do feel like with a little bit of improvement, this could become something that could be really cool. So I started with the notion of, can we verify, things that have been done in the White House recently, and see if we can run them through an AI generator to understand if they are constitutionally legal. So that was the basis of this application, and I'd like to see, as a result, some of the proof, some of the backing up of how the generator was able to come up with that information. So which specific articles are relevant, and um, kind of have the burden of proof where it's not just speculative. So, as I was running through this, I will say that even the LLM has said things like, can't really, this is not a legal binding, obviously not legally binding. It's just kind of a point you in the right direction type of result, but I do feel like there is some substance here. So I was happy. And let me also say, I don't have a mathematical background. Math is one of my weakest subjects. I do tend to have a strength in the logic portion, so that's kind of, I guess, strange. That I'm good with the figuring things out and getting the logic behind things, but I'm not great with algorithms. And I'm not a coder, but I've taken some coding classes. I know a little bit about Python and Golang, HTML, that type of thing. So I did use the assistance of a few different chat agents. So Gemini being one of them, I think it was Flash 2.0, and then also ChatGPT. So what was interesting about that is I'd kind of pit them against each other. So one would work well for one thing, and then I would need to kind of verify it or have it run through ChatGPT to actually fix some of the things that weren't working. So as you can see, it took me 40 versions. This took me quite a bit of time just to get through it, just because I don't have the coding background that other people in this competition probably do. With that being said, I have probably put more notes in here because I needed them. So I asked Gemini, to explain each segment. So you might see this a little bit overly verbose in the commenting section, and not really comments, but the markdown that's above the code. So anyways, I can quickly try to explain it. So basically, installing packages and, taking out anything that existed that wasn't relevant is the first section. The next section is libraries. And let's see, initial, and obviously I copied this from the day 2 embedding class. So I copied that notebook as a starting point. So a lot of this will look probably familiar. Initializing the Google Gen AI client, and listing the embedding models. So we ended up using this 4 one, which was, I think, just because that was what the original notebook used. And then let's see. So yeah, so this is where I uploaded the documentation that I used for the RAG. So grabbing out some of the articles and summaries of articles from the Constitution, and then uploading those into documents. And then declaring the document here, and then the IDs here. And let's see, setting up the embedding function. So this is for the database, so for the ChromaDB, and initializing the database, and then creating the collections, deleting anything that existed previously, just so that it was clear, clean, and just checking that everything uploaded properly and that it's in the DB. And then just taking a look at what the embeddings look like, and then the actual text after that. And then preparing the query for the relevant documents, so making sure that the embeddings match so that the query can actually decipher those. And then here's the actual query, so you can change this out if you wanted to. I did try like an input box, but that didn't work very well with the code, so I took that out. It can just be hard-coded for the way it is here, with the understanding that if we wanted to build something that was really going to be used, you'd probably want to use something like, I think Streamlit is an option, among many others. And let's see, constructing the prompt. So just basically giving it the context of, what's expected out of it. You're a legal expert, and here's the query, and you're going to make a determination, and then you're going to tell me the amount of relevance that has, based on the articles that you find that support it. So this is the output. The analysis here, so for the example that I used, which was, is it legal to deport people out of the U.S. into other countries' prisons? The answer that this is giving me is that it is likely to be unconstitutional, but it can't really explicitly tell me that. So it's just inferring that that's the case, and then here's the reasoning, and it goes through the articles that are relevant to that stance, and then gives you the additional articles that could also have some bearing on that. And then we have a nice little pie chart here that kind of shows the relative relevance, I guess it is. So basically, looks like Article 1, Section 8 would be the most relevant, but then you have, Amendment 10 and all these other ones that could also play into it. Actually, it looks like these two are equal. So Amendment 8 also relevant to Article 1, Section 8. And then here is the absolute relevance strengths per section. So for each of these, how much would that weigh into the ultimate answer that was provided? And this being 90% out of 100, that's pretty high. So anyways, that was it, and hope you guys like it. Thank you so much for the time. Bye.